Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Margarita and today I'm here to bring you my January wrap up. I'm really sorry that I did not post as much as I really wanted to in January, but I started school again and I honestly bit off a lot more than I can chew with this semester. I'm working full-time, going to school full-time. It's pretty crazy. I leave my house at 7 o'clock in the morning and most days I don't get home until 8 or 9 if I'm lucky. So I've been a little bit stressed. I've been a little bit pressed for time. This weekend I've been working really hard on getting ahead in schoolwork so that I do have time to sit down and film videos here in the future. But that being said, you're probably going to see me looking like this in the next couple videos because I'm just going to film a lot of them today. That way I have some on backup for you guys. So after that long introduction, let's just get into the books. So in the month of January, I read a total of 5 books. Let's see. One of them is a graphic novel, one of them is a poetry collection, and the other 3 are actual novels. So I'm going to start from the books that I liked the least, going up to the books that were my favorite for the month, and let's just get into it. So the book that I liked the least this month is the poetry collection, and that is The Universe of Us by Lang Leave. I was really disappointed with this. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. But when I read poetry, it's more whether or not I connect to the stories, and I found myself just like speed reading through this entire collection because I didn't really connect with anything. I think maybe 1 or 2 poems out of this I really enjoyed. Other than that, I mean, probably like 100 poems in here and I did not care about most of them. So I was very disappointed with this. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, like I said. I usually really enjoy her writing, but this one just didn't do it for me. It felt more like she knew she had to get a collection out there, so she just started writing stuff as opposed to, I didn't feel like there was a lot of emotion in it, at least not for me. And that's how I like my poetry. I like to be able to connect with it. So maybe it's a great collection, like looking at it objectively, but for me, it was not my favorite. So the next book that I read is The Last Dragon, the graphic novel, and this is by Jane Yolen and Rebecca Guay. I don't know how to pronounce that. But the illustrations were absolutely beautiful in this book. I mean, it's a very well done book. Let me see if I can find a picture of the dragon. That might be nice. Like, look at this. Do you guys see that? How beautiful is that? The colors are great. The characters were great. I enjoyed this. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I have to admit, I didn't really like that the dragon was the villain. I was kind of hoping that it would be something different, but it was basically, let's go out and slay this dragon. So it's not bad. It's not great. I love the illustrations, but basically it's about the last dragon. This dragon, the dragons used to be in the world, and they were all wiped out by the humans because they kept going onto their land and the dragons didn't like that. So the humans just wiped them all out, and there's one egg that hatches and he grows up, and it's the conflict of that. And again, like I said, I really didn't like that the dragon was the bad guy. I was kind of hoping for, I guess, a story where they would like coexist. The humans would realize, okay, we can't be such butt faces and, you know, encroach on everybody's territory, but that's not what happened. It's just what I had hoped, but that's fine. It didn't have to happen. It's still a good story. So the next book is actually the first book that I read in January, and that is Changeless by Gail Carriger. This is the second book in the Parasol Protector series, and I really enjoyed this. This is just a really fun, easy read. It's not deep. It's about werewolves and vampires and the main character, Alexia, who is soulless. So when she touches vampires, ghosts, werewolves, whatever, she takes away that extra soul, according to the book, and they turn human again. And it's just her getting into shenanigans. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I went to my local secondhand bookshop, which always has this series in there, to get the 3rd one because I wanted to see what happened. And of course they didn't have it, so I'm waiting to find the 3rd book in this series so I can continue on. I really enjoyed it. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. The next book is a long overdue book that I had to read, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is a post-apocalyptic world where influenza has wiped out, I think, 90 to 95% of the population of the entire world, and it goes back and forth between all these characters that survived this influenza, and back and forth between now and before the flu hit. I'm sorry, my brain's not working very well at the moment. And it just follows our cast of characters, and it centers around this one guy. What was his name? Arthur. It's not a spoiler, you're going to find out in the first chapter. He dies in the first chapter of this book. And it surrounds all these people that knew him, for he's the central character. All these people are connected because they knew him in some way or another. And it tells their story. It follows a group of different people. One of them being Kristen, who was a little girl when he died in front of her. And now she's grown up and she's part of this traveling band where they perform Shakespeare and they do symphonies and stuff. And it's really good. If you haven't read it, which I'm sure everybody has, I was probably the last person who hasn't read this book. If you haven't read it, please go out and read it. It's so good. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it, and I'm glad that I finally read it. And then the last book that I read in the month of January, I mean, I literally finished this right before midnight on January 31st, is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is her retelling of how the Red Queen became the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland. No, the Queen of Hearts, I'm sorry. How she became the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. And it was really, really good. I wish I could feel sorry for her, honestly, because she was told, like, don't do these certain things. This is going to be what happens. If you do this one thing, this is going to be what happens. And she's like, oh, no, I have to do this one thing. And then she turns into a heartless bitch because of it. I'm like, I want to feel sorry for you, but you knew. But anyway, that's besides the point. I did really, really enjoy this. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I'm hoping to finish Winter later this month, in February, because I got it from the library. But I really enjoy Marissa Meyer. I love her writing. I love her fairy tale retellings. They're so great. They're so unique. And they're amazing. Definitely pick this up if you haven't picked it up and you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland. Just do it. Just do it. So that's what I read in the month of January. And it's not a lot, but it's not bad for the text. Let me show you the textbook I've been reading since school started. I'm not a textbook reader. Usually I never even buy textbooks because they're paperweights for me. But this one online class, all she posts are videos that are related to the chapters you have to read, but that's it. So you have to read the textbook. I have been reading this for the past 2.5 weeks and it's killing me. I hate this so much. It is so boring. So I give myself little breaks by reading graphic novels and stuff, because they only take like an hour to read. But that's why I haven't read as much as I would like to. So I'm hoping, this class is done in March, so I'm hoping in April I'll be able to start reading a lot more again. But that's it. That's all I really read in January. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys read in January, what your favorites were, if you've read any of the books that I read, your thoughts and opinions on them, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!